opposites attract. That's what they always say, isn't it?
Yeah, do they really attract, or do you
I
think that's
don't
a bit of a
know.
myth?
And I think nowadays we're looking to be with people that are more similar to us rather than opposite. I think there's a
Yeah.
big trend moving towards a similar. So I don't know if that's actually a problem or not.
Could that be good, or maybe not? Could that be an issue?
Let's see. Well, that's what we're going to be talking about in
Get Real with the English
Sisters.
Sisters.
As always, it's our own point of view. So hopefully you will agree with us.
Well, you can relate to it
Or
on
you
some level.
might not agree, and it might be you might have the opposite point of view.
That's good too.
That's good too. And I think, what was I going to say? I think like with, I think it's because it's the algorithms as well. They're helping us to always look into our own little world and have just things that we like and are similar to us.
Ah, you mean like on social media, for example?
And so in real life, whereas before we would be just thrown into situations where you might have like people
somebody
with
completely different to you.
Yeah, maybe opposing political views, opposing religious views to you.
Yeah.
We'd be thrown into that kind of environment, whereas now we're more and more choosing what we want, and I think we choose similarities.
Well, yes, yeah. You especially, I mean, like if you're going out with friends, you don't really want a friend that's completely different to you, that has, just like what you were saying before, they just like opposite to everything that you like, because then it's going to be pretty different. It's going to be difficult to be able to hang out for a start, because they'll probably want to go to different places than you.
But isn't that a good thing? Because they take you out of your own comfort zone and they take you to places.
Yeah, but let's face it, if I've got a friend that she always wants to go and hang out at some nightclub or something, and I'm not into that at the moment, I'm going to be saying no lots of the times.
But you could also meet the love of your life at that nightclub.
I guess so, yeah. So what are you trying to say? Is that we should be flexible?
Is that, yeah, I think that the fact that we always tend, especially now, to look for more similarities to ourselves is causing a bit of a problem.
We tend to want similarities to everything, don't we?
Even in our own families, with our parents or with our caregivers, we want them to think like we do.
Yeah, whereas they do not. And we know that at any family gathering, it is best to avoid certain arguments, because otherwise you're going to, especially about politics or, something like that, whoa, stay clear away from that. That's what we used to do. I mean, I still say it nowadays. Do not talk about this and that.
I don't discuss.
Yeah, because that's a main reason.
But in a way, it's a shame, because
it is a shame.
We can't. No, but it's okay not to discuss. But we can still enjoy that person's company and be in really good company with them.
Oh yeah,
and really have a good time with them.
Still love them, but I accept the fact that they're different.
Yeah. Whereas now I think there's more a trend to not wanting to accept that, and I think we're limiting ourselves in a certain way, because we're not open to hearing new ideas. We immediately shut off as soon as we hear that someone hasn't got the same, I know, like views on something as us. We're shut off instead of being curious
yes.
and willing to learn and like look into their shoes. Maybe why, what's their past been? Why do they think like this? Instead of just saying, no, that's bad. I don't want to do that. I don't believe in that.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
And I think we limit our own experiences so much by doing that.
Yeah, and I think this can also be like, from if you're a parent, you may have a child that's the complete opposite to what you were like. Yeah. Has a completely different passion or a completely different view of life, or they have a different kind of idea about sexuality, whatever it is. And it's you say you love them, and so it's important for you to love every aspect of them, even if they are completely different or the opposite to you. And I know that that's very difficult for many people to fully accept their children.
Well, I think they can say,
even if they're completely different.
That's not for me. as a parent. That's
Yeah.
not for me, but I accept that that's what my
It's
child
really
has chosen.
difficult, though, as we know, as therapists, we know that a lot of parents have great difficulty with accepting the fact that their children are the complete opposite to them. For example, if one is the parent is a great businessman, and by the time he was 25, he created an empire, and then they judge their sons and daughters and think, look, what are they doing? Why haven't they yet? Come on, they could have the knowledge from me. I could be, why aren't they inspired? Why don't I? They just do not like that about them. They say, this is something, because the children might be the opposite. They may be the opposite.
It's like chalk and cheese. It's different, isn't it?
Yes, but it's hard when they actually your children. It may be easier if it's like a romantic relationship to accept.
I don't know if it's easier if it's a romantic relationship.
It's very
because when
difficult.
your children grow up, you don't have to see them all the time. Whereas
No.
a romantic relationship, you're with them 24/7. I'm not 24/7,
Well,
but a lot.
I mean, sometimes you'd want to be with them 24/7. It's pretty difficult, especially if you're
A
working.
lot of the time, you're with them a lot.
Yes, yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, so, but I think
They're like your partners, aren't they? Your partners in crime for some reason. I'm thinking, I don't know why.
why in crime, but
In crime, if you're together and then you don't like what your children are doing, I suppose.
yeah, well, it's because the children are opposite to you. That's why it made me think about
But
how many parents
sometimes your
have
kids or your
children's-
children, even when they're grown up, they don't agree with what you're doing. Like I was reading the other day, I was reading on Reddit on this, that there was this man, a son that lived with his mum. He was already grown up and he was looking to move out, but he said, I can't understand why my mum insists on cluttering the whole house up when she knows it makes me so anxious and it causes me great anxiety, and yet she seems to have no regard for me. She seems to just continue like cluttering things up when I've asked her not to so many times.
Yeah, but whose house was it?
It was her house.
I mean, come on. Sorry, but I mean, it's her house, and this is an adult
This is
man.
an adult man.
Well, then it's time for you to move into your own space.
Yeah, he said he kept his room tidy, but he said he had constant fighting with his mum over this thing. And I said, as a therapist, I suggested, I said, look, first of all, I can empathise with you that if you're the opposite to your mum and you like minimalist style, it is going to cause you anxiety. I can empathise.
Yeah.
But for your mother, the clutter that she has obviously gives her comfort. So it's two sides of the same coin here. For one, it's comfort, and for the other one, it's anxiety. So, I think if he is a bit more empathetic towards her needs and understands that for her it's giving her great comfort, he might be able to understand it, that it's the same as his problem in the end.
So in order for opposites to get along, you have to be flexible and you have to step into the other person's kind of viewpoint, into their shoes, and see where they're coming from. And then, and only then, will you be able to be attracted to them. I mean, I know they say opposites attract, like it's a phrase from, like, normally they're talking about different sexes and, romantic relationships, don't they?
I think it's like when you have like opposite points of view, though, the opposite to you.
So, you mean, that's why the actual phrase was coined, opposites attract. It comes from the fact that...
There a lot of the times, like, our mum was really noisy, wasn't she? Real chatterbox. And Dad was really quiet.
Yes, they were very much opposite. The opposite.
He was very reserved in some ways, and she was all the other ones blurting everything out as soon as she could.
Yeah, you're right about that.
So, and they had a very successful, very long marriage till death did their part.
Yes, absolutely.
So,
yeah. Well, what about you? Do you think that you're the opposite to your husband?
Not completely, no.
But very much. But quite a lot.
A lot of the times there are opposing views.
Not only opposing, but when you first started going out together, you were much like the opposite. You seemed like to be quite lively, very extrovert. He appeared to be extremely shy. But he wasn't really
shy because he played football. He was part of a big team. He was quite in his own way. He was quite an extrovert. He was quite well known in his own circles.
From the outside, I remember when I went to see you at uni, he seemed like this really shy person.
Yeah.
And you were like, no way. You were like 80s girl with all going nuts.
He was more reserved.
He was much more reserved. Come on.
But he was also very much part of teams that I wasn't. I was more of an individualistic person.
So you admired that part of him, the team thing. Yeah, because you keep on going on about it. Team, the football team. I mean, there's obviously something you found attractive.
Well, what I mean is he wasn't just a person that was in his own world, just an introvert. He had lots of friends.
Yes.
He was sociable.
Even though he was kind of shy.
Yes,
He was
whereas I might have been more shy, but I was more like externally it looked as if I was louder because I wore lots of bright makeup and short skirts and very 80s, like what you said, very 80s, 90s, very much like extravagant. But on the sort of London scene,
on the surface, but then really underneath you were shy. Yeah.
Whereas he was more outgoing underneath,
even though he looked
shyer because he was very like.
Yeah, that was funny.
He was very much more discreet in the way he dressed.
Oh yeah,
he wore his mum knitted jumpers. And things
absolutely.
Like that.
He looked like a very good lad.
Yeah.
Whereas you were like more of a bit of a rebel. It was coming from London.
But I wasn't really a rebel.
No.
But I might have been in some ways.
Some ways it was probably your way of conquering. This new
But
land.
I just think that now, because I know like some of my people I know that they're looking to date now, and I know that on the dating apps as well you can tick everything off what you're looking for, and it's really easy to
look for similarities.
Oh,
they love dogs. I love dogs. They don't like cats. I don't like cats.
I don't love dogs. And
but isn't that helpful? Come on. If I've got two
dogs... You
would
think it is helpful, but then maybe in another way it isn't.
Not. I know.
It limits you.
It is, because if I say, no,
if I say I'm a cat person or I'm a dog person...
And they might have a dog and then you fall in love with that dog.
You might say, I don't like pets. I don't like to have pets. And then you might go and meet the person that's got this lovely dog and fall madly in love with the dog.
And suddenly your world
not like the person.
Broadens. Yeah, the dogs, I mean, they can really... The doggy, they can make your heart...
And then you can go away and adopt a dog. But what I mean is that...
You want that dog.
It enriches you in a way, doesn't it?
Even things you don't want
in the things that you don't want to do.
It can really, yeah. So maybe we shouldn't be so scared of
things that you can't do.
Because you feel you have this fear of doing them. The other person there is more outgoing and saying... Come on,
it'll be okay.
It'll be okay. Let's go here. I know a lady who's just gone into mountain climbing. She's 56 because her partner is really dedicated to mountain climbing. And it's something she said I would have never, ever done before in my life.
Well, I know.
But she's suddenly become really sporty and her whole world is like opened up because of this, this difference. So... Very different people indeed. Very different, yeah. So sometimes, opposites attract is good. Not to be frightened of opposites. I think
that's why the saying exists.
Right, yeah.
But I think what we're doing now is we're cutting all this out, so we're like being too selective.
So do you think as humans we're secretly attracted to
the
opposite because it's something
our genes, our genes. I mean, my daughter's a scientist, Jasmine, and she tells me, but I knew this already from biology. I mean, it's pretty obvious. But the more different you are, the more chance you've got of having stronger
genetic background,
stronger offspring.
Goodness me. So we should not, when we do feel attracted to something even something. Because something that we might think, hey, that's not really me.
Well, it could be.
It could be you. It could be you. How do you know? Yeah.
I mean, I used to think I would never play golf, and look at me now.
Oh my God, I know. That's so weird.
Yeah.
That you really do like it.
I know, and all the
that's
aspects
weird.
of it I thought would be really difficult and that I wouldn't like.
You just
the
thought it was boring.
Yeah,
like,
but the fact that there's so many rules and there's so much to stuff,
The
and I thought would be
technical.
so difficult. And that's what I'm finding the most challenging and the most exciting, which is a real learning curve for me because I never thought that would be the aspect that I actually like.
No, I thought I would
With
definitely
all
think
the
that's the most
different
boring
clubs and
thing.
everything you have to use, I used to think, what the heck?
Yeah, just give me one club
Just
and throw that
what
thing
are you
into the
talking
hole.
about?
Yeah.
How the hell am I going to
I
be able to
know.
use all those? And that's what I find now really exciting. Oh, I can use this one. I can use that one.
Yeah.
That's what you like. What I like.
Well,
now.
that's what you like. I'm not into it yet, but yet. I mean, normally everything you do, I'll probably get into it sooner or later. I don't know if I have the time for it at the moment, but you can make time for things you really love.
When you love something, the time appears.
Yeah, that's.
And even if you
can
don't,
find-
when you start something new, it's your horizon expands because you have more energy in the end.
Well, you've got different neurons that are actually firing off in your brain, and then they're like creating new pathways. They're like actually firing together when you've got a challenge, something that's different. So when you do everything, when you're always repeat, what are you laughing at? It's true.
I'm thinking no because I'm thinking so when you have an opposite like mate.
Yes,
it's
it's probably
a challenge.
firing all these different neurons, and you're having to try and understand that person, trying to figure them out, so it is a challenge. It's definitely a challenge. Yes, it's like learning
So it like makes your brain grow.
Kind of.
It's like brain food.
It is. It is probably like brain food, so we should not be so frightened of it. We should not, even though I know why we are frightened of it, because we want to stay in that homeostasis, static kind of position of things that we know, that we've tried out, the path well trodden, what is it, is the one that's safest.
It's the chosen one.
I can't remember the saying now, but the path that you basically always walked on is like, the path that you know.
It's a safe one.
It's a safe one. And the other path, we don't really know what's
but
down there.
it could be the boiling frog syndrome, couldn't it?
Very often
you are in that and you're stuck in that rut and you don't realise it and you're always on and on and on looking for the same kind. Say if you're looking to date the same kind of person, in the end could be the one that's just not right for you, and the opposite kind of person is perfect.
Yes, you might think, oh no, I don't like that guy. I mean, or that girl, or them, because they're into sports, like what you were saying, and they're really no. That's not the person, and keep on ticking them off.
Yeah, and they could be the best thing for you.
Yes. Yeah, so expand.
Expand. I think when you expand any horizon within you, it's always a good thing. Obviously, if it's ethically correct.
Well,
yeah, that's what we're talking about.
But then we're not talking about the crimes, like what you say, partners in crime. I don't even know why you're talking about that. Obviously, that's obvious. We are talking about things that are ethically correct, and we're that's given, isn't it? Come on,
that's a given. So let us know what you think, and as always, please do tell a friend about this podcast because it's one of the number one ways of helping us grow. And we are in most continents of the world now.
Yes,
so
we are.
Very exciting.
Very, very,
and
very
if you'd
exciting.
like to support our work, you can come and watch our YouTube video as well. And you can buy our book, Stress Free in 3 Minutes, which is available on Amazon and probably
wherever you get your books.
Wherever you get your books. So have a look for it. And I'm going to look for an opposite now as something that I wouldn't normally do. I'm going to go and do it.
Gosh, really?
Well, yeah, I have to look out for something.
Something that's the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you think it could be just like watching a TV show?
Well,
you would never
well,
watch
that's what I have done
something that's
actually,
easy,
because I've been watching the comedy specials that I would normally
really, I like them.
Snub my nose at because I would think I can't be bothered.
Stand-up live
I
comedies.
don't like. Well, I thought I didn't like
but
stand-up,
but
I do like
love
it.
Them. They're funny.
I do love it. I've been watching 2 of them.
There you go.
On Netflix, the Netflix ones, they've been very entertaining.
So maybe just something as small as that.
They've taught me stuff as well about myself.
Really?
Well, they've taught me that I like.
they've taught you that you like stand-up shows, comedies. Okay, yes. I thought it was something more than that.
Well, maybe there are other elements we don't even realise
don't.
what they're teaching us. They
Yeah,
do. They
they
teach you to be more tolerant as well. I know.
Well, I don't know about tolerant a comedy show, but who knows?
Because it pushes your boundaries, doesn't it? It's something you're not usually doing. It's opening your world up.
Yeah.
We live in these little cocoons, and
we repeat the same things over and over again.
So it's opening up points of view.
Changing, going and watching a show that you normally wouldn't watch, going to the theatre. Now I don't like the theatre. How do you really
boring.
know? You've watched one show. Come on, let's be frank.
Yeah.
You may get something. I don't like the opera. Then you might start, even you know, classical. They say, no, I don't like the opera. You go to the opera and then they're crying next to you. So what are you saying? They don't like it. You're getting emotional. Come on, you do really. You've obviously got something from this. I know it might not be your regular thing you want to go and see, but look, something has happened here. Something has been stirred. So you never really know.
No,
so we've got to keep our eyes
and
open and ears. And...
try something new and come and say hi to us at Get Real with the English Sisters on Instagram or The English Sisters everywhere else. And we love you all. Lots of love and smiles from the English Sisters. Bye-bye.